Hey guys, it's Jeff from Adirondack Woodsman here today, and I'm outside the Expo Center at the New York State Fairgrounds, and we're getting ready to go in to take a look at the 2024 New York State Farm Show, so follow along. Okay, so we're going to start out here with at JD Woodhouse, and this is where I got my grapple last year. They've got a couple of smaller grapples as well as snow pusher. This looks like a big rototiller. I think this is a flail mower. And I may be getting one of these. These are actually to adapt a
How many quick attach plates do they have?
a John Deere quick attach for the loader, so you can do skid steer attachments as well. And this one's about $900 for the show price. They make a little bit lighter weight one that I'll probably end up getting that one because it was about 40 pounds less. That's only for category 1 hitch. Category 1, and then this one actually can do, I believe, the 400 and 500 attachments as well. Here's a couple of the grapples. Mine's actually a 6-foot grapple. This is an interesting little device, Kanga loaders. You stand on the back and you put all kinds of attachments on the front. Whole line of Bobcats. So I'm here at the New York State Farm Show with Dave Mansfield from JS Woodhouse.
Yep.
I always say JD. I don't know why I say JD,
JS.
but JS Woodhouse. And this is where I bought my grapple last year, and we're looking at a couple other pieces of equipment this year, and we'll see what we end up going home with.
There's always something.
So, can you tell me a little bit about what you guys do here?
Sure. So we do a little bit of everything from, you're familiar with our work saver implements and
Yep.
attachments. Everything from grapples, carrier adapters for updating obsolete loaders to universal skid steer these days, right through now we're more involved with outdoor power equipment, Bobcat mowers, Encore mowers, and our Kanga compact mini skids. But traditionally our bread and butter has been agricultural and forestry implements. Down that way we have our Fransgard logging winches, woody log loaders, kind of everything in between, sprayers, spraying equipment. We try to do it all, right?
Yeah, and I saw you guys out at the Woodsman Day as well.
Yep.
And you had quite a bit of stuff out there, but probably not as many implements as you would have at this show.
Right. Yeah, that's more of a dedicated forestry show. And
Right.
That's been a great show, long-standing show just like this one. So yeah, we'll be out there this August again with Fransgard, Kanga, CID, and a couple of brands like that.
Yeah, and those are some well-known names. Fransgard's. I'm basically looking at the Fransgard single grapple.
Yep.
Because that's one of the ones that will allow me to actually take a log and saw it, holding it up with a tractor and stuff.
Yeah.
So
they have the loader mounted, the SK950 and the 1400. Then we have our 3-point hitch tong style, the HZ series.
yeah.
Those are all made in Denmark, and yeah, we go back a long way with Fransgard, probably 40 years. We've been bringing them over.
So is there a John Deere attach for that particular one, or you get the skid steer plate?
Yep, we can do either or. Yep,
Okay.
We have different attach. So John Deere, Euro Global, or Universal skid steer. So
Okay.
different options for those.
Great. Well, thanks for your time.
Hey,
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
Good to see you.
Good
Yep.
to see you. How you doing?
What's up? How you doing today?
Just doing a little videoing today of the
yeah?
of the show.
Hey, and welcome to JS Woodhouse, your dealer's best connection.
So Dave is the straight guy. You're the
Yes.
the color commentary.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm the goofball. Also
Thank
the
you.
branch manager here at Syracuse, New York.
Yes, I appreciate it.
You got it.
We're gonna look at a little more of your stuff here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Don't forget to scan that QR code for an additional 10% off.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, so this is more of the farm equipment for JD Woodhouse. Sprayers. I'm not sure what this big thing is back here. It says head hauler. Huh. Okay, so here we have a log loader that you could actually tow behind a truck, and it's set up such that you can stand on this platform here to operate it and have good visibility to be able to load logs with this big grapple onto the back of the trailer here. And I think this is a Franz guard, I'm not sure. Look for a label over here. It's called the Woody. And I think I was talking to somebody yesterday and they said somebody actually bought this, but they allowed them to bring it to the show to show it off. This is kind of one of the things that I'm looking at, is a single grapple, because there's the Franz guard makes one and Sundown makes one. And the idea would be that if I get something like this, I can much easier cut my firewood by just holding the log up in the air. I do it with my grapple now, but I end up with a 6-foot section that I can't actually cut because of all the tines on the large grapple. But this would allow me to be able to process firewood much quicker. And then over here they got the Franz guard skidding winch, and this looks pretty heavy duty. I've got a Uniforce winch myself, but it's basically the same type of a setup. You run off the back of your PTO, you pull this, you have a lot of extra rope to be able to get away from it, but you use this to pull the clutch, engage the clutch, and what it'll do is pull a log from out of the woods. This is a screen that'll go up on top in order to protect the tractor in case there's a break in the cable, which I've never had, and I hope I never have, so that'd probably be quite the event. And what you do is you put your chokey chains in here, you pull the cable out, it free spools out, and then you hook up your logs and then skid them up to the winch. So this is the bale machine that does the big bales in the out in the hayfield, and after it bales one up, it shoots it off the back end into the field, and then they come back and get it with a spear later. This is JCB. JCB makes some really interesting equipment. One of the things that I saw last year when I came is they have a side entry skid steer. So the way they do that is they end up having everything run off of an arm off to the side, so that way it frees up the other side to be able to get into the cab. And down here we got a similar one, except this has got except this one's got an arm that'll come all the way out. But same type of an entry, side entry to the skid steer. Over here we got the whole Coyote line of tractors and backhoes, everything branded Coyote. Over here, these are really cool, and there's several displays of these set up across the fairgrounds. These are the Avant articulated machines, and from what I gather, they're articulated so that there's independent turning this way, and then the axle can also articulate this way, so that way as you're going down like a rutty area, the thing's not going to become unlevel. It's actually going to be able to more or less level itself out. So, and they all have the articulating or the extended booms. So like you see over there, you can get it up nice and high and get quite a bit of a reach. The forks on the end, if you have forks or you have a bucket, is self-leveling. So it makes it a nice machine. It kind of a nice alternative to a mid-range compact tractor. A lot of these loaders now, or these skid steers now, lift the whole cab lifts up so that you can get at the engine, which makes it nice if you need to work on it. Over here we have the LS series, which I think is I could be wrong, but I think it's a Korean made unit. Whoops, sorry. Some of the smaller tractors. Over here we got the Toro line of equipment and the Mahindra tractors.
I can't remember the name of the farm.
Every size and function you can imagine with some of these. These have the standard skid steer attachment. So for the skid steer, you basically disengage these two, and the bucket will come off, and then you could put it on another attachment like the pallet forks. These are basically is a big swamp buggy, and what they do is they go into the manure beds. They have these big ponds of manure and whatnot that are on some of these massive farms, and this basically will float out in that pond, and it allows it to process all of the manure and take out a lot of the fine stuff. And then what they do is they take that and they use that and they inject it back into the field for fertilizer for the next crop season. Over here we got the Kubota line. Everything from skid steers to tractors to excavators. This would be for doing your spraying in a large field. And basically, it rides above the crop, and you can do quite a bit of spraying with one of these. In a little while we'll show you about the aerial drones that can replace those types of sprayers. Over here, this is, what is this, Stillborn Kubota. And over here, I think this is Massey Ferguson. My first tractor was a Massey Harris, which is a predecessor to Massey Ferguson. So we were here yesterday, and there were a couple of neat pieces of equipment. I don't see them here today. I don't know why. Oh, over there. So we were here yesterday, and we're wondering what these were used for. You can see down at the bottom there's a little arm to. Basically, this is for pounding fence posts in, and so this arm would hold the fence post, and then this would attach to either some sort of a skid steer probably, or tractor, and this is actually a big hammer that'll pound in the fence post. This one is similar, but apparently this one vibrates to put it in, and you can get an arm attached to this one as well. This nasty looking thing is for taking out small brush, or it can dig out a stump. This one's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a brush hog, but it's got one huge piece up above, and then the blades kind of come down from that. And then it looks like little teeth here. So I don't know if this is maybe made for also doing stumps or what. It's kind of interesting. Probably smaller type stumps. I got that's a stump grinder that you can hook up to your PTO. 3-point hitch. Small snow pusher. Big rakes. Definitely turned into an operation. Farming business. So basically the rakes pull it up, and then the tines pull it up, and then it hits these two conveyors and shoots it out one way or the other. Over here we have a galvanized trailer. Trying to see what the make is. PJ trailers. It's a silver mount 7x14 dump, 16,000 GVW, show special 13.7. All galvanized, so you don't got to worry about it ever rusting. This is a scissor lift. It's a DU16K. Oh, it's Silver Mountain Trailers is the name of the brand. PJ must be the dealer. And I like the way they do the box and the hydraulic coming out the back, so that everything is sealed up in a nice silver diamond plate. Very nice. A bunch of four-wheelers here. Honda show specials. These are all open. Over here we got some wood boilers. Classic Edge. It's the back side of it. So here you got the fins that probably contain the water, and then that water gets brought into the house to heat the house. So it's an outdoor wood boiler. And a couple different sizes here too. This company is called Central Boiler. Another tedder for fluffing up the hay in the field. What's just your first name?
Mike.
Mike. Okay, so I'm here with Mike from
Northeast Implement.
Northeast Implement, and he's got a couple of interesting pieces of equipment that I was taking a look at. This looks like some sort of a wood splitter, but I'm not sure what all this stuff around the edges and stuff is for.
All right, let me walk you through it. The arms on the edges, this one's and that one are up when you're splitting. So if you get a piece that explodes and comes apart,
Oh, nice.
it doesn't keep going.
A safety device.
It is. And then this thing is made with safety in mind. You have two handles, one on either side, and you have to pull with both hands to get the splitter
Get it to come
out.
down.
And in that case, it's very safe. You're never going to catch your hand in it.
So what is this down here?
That is a piece, they call it the wedge-o-matic.
Okay.
Let me get around there.
Okay.
What this does is, because you have to have both hands up here
Yep.
to do it, you can't hold your piece of wood. So this is a pusher. Oh yeah. During the splitting set, it'll push down a lock, and then when it comes back up, it will stay in reverse without your hands. Hits the stops. You hold your piece of wood in there. After that, it goes down, holds the wood. So you
Okay.
can come up here and pull it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and then over here, we were looking at this yesterday. This is, we gotta come to the side here. This is like a big samurai saw, where if you're trying to buck up a bunch of limb wood and that type of stuff,
Yeah.
you basically just pull down on this handle here
Push in.
and push in, and you can see down there that you've got a huge circular saw blade that, if I recall, is all carbide tip.
It is carbide
And-
tipped, and it's 84 teeth.
And you know, my first question yesterday was, well, this doesn't look long enough to hold the wood, but you mentioned that there's an extension
There is
off
an
to the end.
extension that goes in the side here and sticks out. And you can do up to 12-foot stuff with the extension.
Okay, well, that's really pretty neat. And you said this comes both with or without an engine, so you can run it off the back of a tractor with a
Correct.
PTO like this one's set up,
Correct.
or
This one's set up for a PTO 3-point hitch, but we have it with just a pulley drive, and we also sell it with a small motor drive installed.
Okay, and how do these, I mean, these wheels look kind of small for this size of a device. Is this meant to be stationary and then you...
It is stationary. It's hooked to the 3-point hitch while you're using
So
it.
you lift it up, yeah.
So the wheels and the handle in the front are basically so you can wheel it into a shed
Yep.
and put it away for the winter.
That's a good idea. And probably the same with a splitter over there.
That's what they're thinking, yes.
Okay, and over here, I've got I actually own a woodmizer, but this looks like a kind of something that you could actually ship over to a customer, because my friend was asking me yesterday. I said, yeah, I think they just kind of ship this in a crate and then you assemble the rails.
Yes, we offer it both ways. We offer it, you assemble, or we can assemble and ship.
Okay.
But it does come apart for easy transport.
Okay, and and you have a couple different models.
We do. We have 5 different models altogether. 18. There's one in the middle that's 22, and this is our 30-inch.
Okay.
And those numbers go to the diameter of the log it'll handle.
Right. And then I'm going to swing around here. It looks like you got a bundler too.
Yep. Firewood bundler. A little different than most. It's got a box on the front where you set the number of wraps that you want the machine to do.
Okay.
Put your wood in there.
That's this box here.
Yep. Hit the green button, and then it will wrap while you're getting your next load.
Oh, that's kind of a neat idea.
It is.
And then is this like just an electric motor, or is this, what is back here?
It is electric motor into a gearbox
Into a gearbox, okay.
for the arm to swing the
And the brand is Pro Implements?
Pro Plus.
But by the way, over here, back to this stuff, this brand, is this like it sounds like a European
It is. It's
brand?
It's a brand out of Austria.
How do you pronounce it? Posh?
Posh.
Okay,
Yep. Posh.
very nice. What's the lead time on something like this?
I have the stuff in stock.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And you're in Syracuse?
We're in Spencer, New York.
Spencer, okay, yep.
We tend to stock the machines because to get a container over takes a minimum of 6 weeks, and most people won't wait that long.
No, you're right. They don't have the And then what brand of skidding winch do you have over there?
We have the best.
Is that the
Brand is the original.
What is
winch.
it?
It's a Farmy Forest
Oh,
brand.
yep.
And it's the original winch that was ever developed. It was invented by 2 Finnish farmers back in 1963. And then the company built off their invention, and it's still made in Finland in the same place it was invented. We have 3 models here. We're soon to come out with a 4th, smaller model for subcompact tractors.
So I have a small, not this brand, but I have a small skidding winch, and it was the smallest brand that I could, the biggest one I could put on my tractor at the time.
Right.
And it's a Uniforest, and I wish I had gotten the next size up, because then I subsequently got a bigger tractor.
Yes.
So I'm going to look at some point at trading that in and getting a bigger one.
Right.
So, but these things work great for pulling logs out of the woods. Last year we skidded some huge ash trees that were like, I want to say they were like 12 feet long and about almost 30 inches diameter.
Yes.
And we put them on a sled to do it.
Yep.
Only because we didn't want to tear up the guy's yard.
Right.
And it's amazing what these things can pull.
They will pull a lot more than they look like they will.
Yeah.
And the best place about it is it'll allow you to get wood out of places where you shouldn't be, where
Right.
you shouldn't put your tractor. So it keeps your tractor out of harm's way.
And if you pair it up with a quick release
Hook up. Yep.
yeah, you can pull around trees and stuff too.
Yes.
Which I found is because you don't want to walk into the woods any more than you have to.
Right.
Now, are these all manual, or do you also have the ones that are remote control as well, or?
We don't bring in the remote control winches. They are offered. We don't personally.
Yep.
I don't bring them in.
Okay.
There's 2 things that electronics doesn't like, and they're both
Water.
in the woods. Yep, it's going to be weather and vibration.
Right.
And it just doesn't work
Right.
well. So we decided to not forgo the remotes just to save the headaches.
Yeah, mine's a manual as well, and it works really well. Well, thank you very much for taking
sir.
the time today.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks. So take a look at this massive piece of equipment here. I'll tell you what it's all about in a few minutes. So I've got Adam here from, what's the company that you...
Lakeside Ag Machinery.
Mike's...
Lakeside Ag Machinery.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining me
Yep,
today.
no
I just
problem.
wanted to. I thought this was a fascinating piece of equipment. My family has a background in farming, and we walked by it yesterday, me and a friend of mine, and was looking at all of the piping and whatnot. And the first thought was, first thought is cedar. Can't be a cedar. It's too big, right?
Right.
And then I was looking and I said, well, maybe it's for some sort of fertilizer to put into the ground. And it wasn't all that far off. It sounds
Yep,
like.
yep.
So would you just take a second and just explain what this is?
Yep, so this is a manure injection bar. We're a dealer for Bazooka Farm Star out of Iowa. The model's a Titan 2. It's 39 feet wide when it's fully open. And it's got, basically what happens is we're running with drag hose, so we'll have a pump that's either at a main pit or from a frac tank, and we're pumping to this machine that's being pulled by a tractor. You can see the long pipe there.
Yep.
We're going to have hose hooked on the back of that.
Okay.
The manure is going to come through the swing pipe. That's an 8-inch pipe, and it's going to come down. There's a flow meter there that's going to tell us how many gallons per minute
Yep.
is going through it, and then it's going to go into a distributor or a manifold. There's different ports on that manifold. That's all that yellow hose that you see.
Yep.
So the manure is going to travel through those hoses to each individual row unit. So there's like 26 row units on this machine at 18-inch spacing. And each of these row units, the front coulter is going to dig a trench in the field.
Okay.
And right behind that, there's a drop tube that's going to drop the manure into the ground. And there's actually a hydraulic downforce on this model. It's something new that Bazooka came out with.
Okay.
And there's a closing coulter behind it that's going to push any loose dirt over that trench. And by putting it in the ground, we're reducing odor, we're capturing nitrogen, and it's just a much more efficient way of moving a lot of manure.
Yeah, the guy was saying yesterday, he goes, hey, if you're losing it in the air, then if you can smell it, then you're losing it.
You're losing value of nitrogen.
Of the
value.
nitrogen,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
So, well, I thought this thing's amazing. So, and I love the way you named it the Game Changer.
Yes, yep. That's what Bazooka does, yep.
So, but yeah, no, this is really and it's got the nice huge wheels, so that way it's not gonna sink in the mud.
Yep.
Right,
Yep,
it'll more or less
Yep.
level.
Yep.
So
You gotta have a big tractor on it.
Oh, I'm sure my compact John Deere would not pull this thing.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
well, thank you very
Yep,
much
yep, no problem.
for explaining this.
Yep,
I appreciate
yep,
it.
Yep.
You have a great day.
Yes, you too.
Oh, didn't even see this yesterday. We had a bunch of old tractors, old John Deere. Not sure what model this is. 1939 Model L. And this was probably the nuts in the day. We got a Farm All. I'm pretty sure that's what my mom said was the first tractor that her father bought. This is a Farm All 230. This is I guess that's the brand, Cockshot 30. Never heard of that one. Here we got the Ford Model 960. Ford was one of the bigger initial companies in the tractor market. This is a 1957 Ford 960. Look at this one. Small little one. I don't even see a model number on this one. Well, this one had the padded seat. I'm sure that was an aftermarket. Here we have a McCormick Farm All. This one's in really beautiful shape. The model is the Cultivision. Notice the other Farm All had the two narrow tires up front, real tight, and then this is the one with the wider tires. Here we got a 1946 John Deere. Over here we have a 1959 730 John Deere with power steering. I'm sure that was a big thing back then. Here it's a 1948 Model G. Oh, this is a device that allows you to take an ear of corn and shuck the kernels off of it. John Deere 1939. This little Massey Ferguson, I think it would make a nice tractor for Rachel to match up with what Heath has out there. '18 economy Model E, 1.5 horsepower gasoline engine. Big mower. The size of this tractor. This even dwarfs my 3039 tractor. This is one of the smaller ones here in the lineup. It's a Model 65C. Here we got the Case 3 Magnum 240. Once again, give you an idea how big this is. And then this one is a quad track Case 3 555. This is even bigger than the other one I looked at. Look at those tracks. And the back's got the same thing, articulating in between so that whole front end turns separately. This is for hauling liquid manure, this big thing, and then you can pipe it and pump it back into the fields. Big tedders for fluffing up the hay, all compacted up. Over here we got a big snow blade, industrial size. Give you an idea how big this is. There's my hand there. You look at the size of the mount on this thing for this plow. Holy moly. My understanding is this is what they call an accumulator, where it'll go out and it'll pick up the bales and then you could drop them off in one spot. So the bales will go in here off of the back of the baler. Really big Massey Ferguson S8740. Little video showing how it works. World's largest towable hay mower. World's largest towable hay mower. Wow, this is all one unit here off the back, and I'm sure the same thing on the other side. It's a lot bigger than what I used when I was mowing the hay. Big rake over there. I think that's a rake. Yeah, you can see the video. Give you an idea of the size of this tractor. I'm standing here by it, and give you a size of the actual cost. I don't know if you can see it. $159,000 for the show special. Big manure spreader. So CNY Farm is here, and they've got a ton of equipment. This is the Massey Ferguson line. So this is an interesting machine. I saw one of these yesterday, Ventrac. These are really fairly expensive, about 30 grand, and they're kind of boxy looking, but they're really, you can hook up a ton of attachments off the front of them. This is actually appears to be a mower, but I saw some other devices. I'll try to show you later if I get to the other building. Another excavator, cash price $43,000 for a mini excavator. I don't even know what brand it is. New Holland. I guess it pays to pay cash. And then the other thing they always have here, which is always good, is they have a whole bunch of Milwaukee equipment, and they have show specials on some of the stuff. I got a good deal yesterday on an angle nailer that I had previously bought at Home Depot, and they had one here for the same price, but came with a 3 amp hour battery. So down here we have Casanova Equipment. They're one of the largest John Deere dealerships in central New York anyways. And they were kind enough to provide complimentary tickets to the show. But you can see they got quite a lineup. I forgot how many locations they have. It's quite a few across New York. I actually got my tractors at North Syracuse Lawn and Snow, and I work with Tom there. He does a wonderful job. You see they've got everything from excavators to skid steers to loaders, and then they got some really big tractors for doing serious farm work. This looks like a combine where it basically brings in the crop, rakes it up, and then I'm assuming that's like chewing it up. It's amazing. And this is the command center for the John Deere tractors. This is the one that I have, the 3039R. I love it. This is next size up, 5060E. And we got 6120M. These things just get bigger and bigger. And of course they've got gators and everything else. John Deere 8R. These suitcase weights are stupid expensive. I'm looking at the smaller. These are the 140 pound. See what it says it on there. I don't see it, but in any case, they're like for the 40 pound ones. I think they're like $80. So these are used to hold cattle when they're working on them, either giving shots or if they're I don't know if it's for branding or whatever it is, but it's basically they put them in there, limits their movement and allows them to work on the cattle. Probably also for like veterinary type stuff. This is a nice rock bucket.
Set up in the basement. I got 2 TVs.
I'm doubting whether my tractor would be able to lift this thing up. For lifting up round bales. Big disker. So this is the Catco brand. This is the one that they use down. Nathan uses down out of the woods. And I believe what he has is as a skid steer. I'm not sure if this is the model or what model he's got. Articulated loader. This is the Ventrac that I was talking about earlier. This is where I first saw him the other day. I asked him what this device was, and he said that what it does is it actually will kick all the dirt and stuff up at the top and push the rocks down into the bottom, which I thought was kind of interesting. So if you're working on manicuring a lawn and you don't want the rocks up on top, this thing will push them down. And everything is sort of quick connect here. You basically, there's a lever here for disengaging the pulleys down below, and then you can disconnect the implement. Obviously, you got to pull out the hydraulic hoses and whatnot. But yeah, he told me these are around 30 grand just for the base unit. And it does have a 3-point hitch in the back, which I didn't even realize till just now. Or you can, it's probably something you can add to it, because this one over here doesn't have one. Gravely, that's a famous name. There's people that are very passionate about Gravely tractors. And didn't know they were making side-by-sides now. So here's one of the big sprayers for doing the crops and riding above the crops, but making very small paths in between, keep from crushing them. Over here we got the Wacker Newsom brand, which I think is a popular name out there. I'm not familiar with it as much as my friend was yesterday. And once again, these are the little stand behind. You stand on a platform to operate it, and allows you to quickly manage stuff in a wood yard or any place where you got to do work in a really tight space. So if you're trying to get in someone's backyard, this could be a nice device, especially if you put a grapple on the front of it. Nice big Kubota skid steer. Mid-size excavator, small excavator. So we got a larger excavator back here, the KX080-4. Look at the size of that engine in there. Holy moly. Everything looks like it's fairly accessible. In the back we got some radiators. So this is actually the manifold for all the hydraulics, it looks like. I thought it was the engine at first, but it's all the hydraulic lines. This is the engine back here. This is Teetsworth trailer. This is where I got my enclosed 16-foot trailer. Hey guys, I've got Jack Beckwith from Woodmizer in New York, and I'm fortunate enough that this thing is only, their place is only about, I don't know, about 30 minutes from where I live, and it is the only location in New York. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes, we cover all New York State, up northern Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. So quite an area there. But we try to get close to the customers with trade shows like this here in Syracuse.
And so Jack was the first person I met at Woodmizer when I bought my LT15 Go, probably 5 years ago now. And then last year I upgraded to an LT35 HD, which is what you have out in the parking lot there.
Right.
And I love it. I don't know how I'd go back now having to manually move the logs. I know for when I was younger it was fine, but as I start to get older, the hydraulics really make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. We see a lot of folks do that progression where they start out with the manual mill, just get their feet wet in the sawmilling, and they fall in love with it, get the bug, and then move into the hydraulic mill, and just makes it easier to saw all day, and not feel, tired at the end of the day. So.
And I will say that they really hold their value. I got pretty close to what I paid for my mill when I sold it. So if if at one point you're deciding, well, geez, should I upgrade a mill? You aren't going to really lose anything on your old mill. So I really enjoy all of their products. Every time I mill, though, I wish I'd got the next one up.
Right.
So just if you can stretch a little bit. I guess the one thing I would say is that in addition to some of the options like the hydraulics and all of that, one of the things you should consider is how wide a boards and what type of wood are you going to be doing. So if you're going to be doing big slabs, big wide slabs, they have mills for that. If you're going to do dimensional lumber, then that might be somewhat different. So
yeah, absolutely. When we talk to somebody about their interest in the sawmill, we always ask, what type of wood are you going to be sawing? What's your end product looking like? How big a diameter logs are you looking for? And we've got a mill for everybody. So wide, narrow, long, anything, we've got some sawmill for you.
So I would encourage you, if you're looking at a mill, get out there and check them out if you're close enough out in Hannibal, or during the fall, if you're up at Woodman's Day, they're up there. They have a lot of mills there up at Woodman's Days. Yeah. Jack was so busy, I didn't even want to go and bother him. They had so many people looking at their stuff. So anyways, thanks for joining me, Jack.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Jeff. Yeah,
have a great
nice
day.
To see you.
So if you've never seen a car wash for a cow, this is it. Basically, this ends up cleaning off the cow. And the cows love it. You can see in the video here. So now you guys have seen everything here. So I think this is also a cow brush, but I think it's a little harder to use because you got to make the cow lay down on the ground. So that would be a little bit harder. Okay, so this is really cool. This is a drone that allows you to spray up to an acre. An acre is 2 gallons of spray, contains 10-gallon tank, so you can spray up to 5 acres. And I think the guy said yesterday 17 minutes with this drone, as opposed to, and it can fly pretty low. Apparently there's additives you can put in so that even if it's somewhat windy out, it will there's additives to keep it from going with the wind. It'll help the stuff to settle down. So, but yeah, this is really cool. Okay, guys, so we're gonna wrap up the day here with some food from Bosco's at the New York State Fair, and this is normally where you get the potatoes for like $1 during the fair season, but. What I'm going to have today is a beef on wick. I had it yesterday. It was phenomenal. If you've never had beef on wick, it's a Western New York thing, and they don't usually serve it here in Central New York. So I'm excited about having that again today. And then we're going to wrap up. So, but thanks for joining us today out at the New York State Farm Show, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And hope to see you in a future one. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.